So let's do that again. Hello, and this is Citizen Sleeper. We're going to try and finish this today. Um, if we finish it today, we will likely stream Scorn when it releases, which is really nice. I've been waiting for that game to come out for a while now. Well, I have upgrade points. Let's see. So yeah, this stream might be a little bit longer than usual, just because we may marathon it. A bit of a quick recap of last session. Um, we told Corpo to go fuck off. Thing. We got the bounty hunter off our backs for at least a little while. We got to the arboretum. Well, I call it the arboretum. They call it like the greenwood or something in this game. We got the hunter off of us, and we made it a little bit further to the Octagon Quest. So let's end this cycle, and let's go dice up. Okay, we got good dice. So I actually want to head to the low end. And right now the goal is to get the low ender perk, because this is where we need to meet Ming. Let's see. Doodle factory and delivery and derelict unit. Gather materials. Let's see, do I have scrap for that? I do not have scrap for that, so we will need to buy scrap. We will need to get 4 scrap. Let's see. We don't have okay, this is where we need to meet Thing. And in the gun box. And then I don't know if I want to help Yatagon. That might hurt me, so I'm gonna hold off on that. As you leave the Tamber tea house, a hand falls on your shoulder. Sleeper! Bing hisses from behind you. How did you find me? No time to explain. Herden has your hardware. Don't worry about that, Fing smiles. He has no idea what to do with it. Eh. Come on, Fing. You're a fellow information security specialist. You know as well as I do that if someone has your hardware, they own your hardware. If they can't figure out what to do with it, they know someone else who does know what to do with it. Fing guides you down a set of stairs, to one of the Tamber's lower levels. The tea house is stacked with curved mezzanines, all connected by a central atrium. The levels are filled with makeshift booths and bars, and conversation bounces busily off the metal walls. The, the alliteration, I love the writing in this game, but, like, so in case you didn't know, I was programmed with a few speech impediments. Apparently, it's supposed to make me more human. Um, really, it's just a pain in my ass. It's just so. It is so difficult to pronounce some of the ways they like word things in this game. That being said, like, the writing itself is so good and it does a great job of painting a picture. Fing sees you looking around. This place used to be a fuel tanker's main drum, hence the name. The tea house is part of a The tea house is a bit of a misnomer though. You can get anything the eye offers from this place, but real tea isn't readily available. That makes sense. He picks a booth, itself fashioned from some old Salvus tank or container, lined with spongy insulation foam, and collapses into it. He looks around furtively. Don't suppose you've seen any Havenage types. They don't usually come out this far. I want to get to the point. Well, I'm suspended. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, I'm pretty sure Herden wants to drop me off the rim of the eye. Yeah, yeah. Don't bother me though. Well, it doesn't bother me though. It shows we hit a nerve back there. He picks a scrappy, hand-scrawled menu from the table and tosses it over. What are you drinking? Let's look at the menu and have a drink ourselves. Remember, stay hydrated. Bing is right. The menu is ridiculous. There's at least 10 different infusions, most of which you can't make out, but the paper is dominated by an extensive complement of esoteric alcohols and cocktails. Black tea is listed without a price, as it is a seasonal specialty. So you ran into Herden. Was he pissed? Bing doesn't wait for an answer. That snake is so self-righteous, he might actually believe that Erlin would approve of his meritocratic bullshit. He taps on the table. If Havenage was like it should be, like it was founded to be, they would have shouted him down at any council meeting he dared mention true citizens. He sighs. But I guess this kind but I guess his kind run the place now. A young woman with a vine tattoo sneaking up turns up at the booth, a slate in hand. Your order? You skim the menu, your eyes glazing over, time to pick something. Let's see. Oh, the kelp infusion. She nods and notes it. And you, she begins, looking to Fing. But when she sees him, she suddenly stops. What the? Fing shrinks a little. You're supposed to be working. It's your shift, he grins sheepishly. You work here? I mean, he did kinda get fired. I mean, he doesn't call it getting fired. He's suspended without pay. He's fired. Fing waves you to be quiet. Look, Jenna, let's say it's my break. My friend here has been through a lot. Jenna looks between the two of you. A nod. Fing also starts nodding. 2 minutes, says Jenna, pointing at Fing, and only because I don't want to get dragged into whatever this is. She gestures at the table and walks off. What? Fing stretches out of the booth. You know how it is. We all have to eat. Plus, he leans in. This is the best place around here to find a person you might be looking for. Hmm. Remember that web of connections Harden pinged the moment we confronted him? Those are his collaborators, and if we want to understand what a Solheim executive might be getting up to on the Eye, these are the people we have to find. Bing is almost whispering now. There's a couple of them I suspect are in the low end, and well, almost everyone in the low end comes through this place one time or another. He brings a modified slate out onto the table. I've set this up so that when anyone with the network signature I'm looking for comes into close proximity, it'll mark them. Once they're marked, we can break through their access protocols and get at the good stuff inside. We just need to find them first. Hence me moonlighting as a waiter. Suddenly a smile grows across his face. Wait, I have an idea. I kinda trust him by now. Look, I can't cover enough of the low end on my own, and so far I've had no matches in this place. With the two of us, we can cover more ground. What am I getting into, Fing? Well, Fing has a hangdog look. We need to get you out and about in the low end, in close proximity to as many people and residences as possible, and it turns out my friend Minigi, he needs some help with deliveries. Oh, that's the vending machine that I saw, the noodle bot. Oh, so you already know him. Perfect. Bing places a tiny receiver on the table. This connects to my slate and runs the same marking protocol if you get near any of our targets. So all you have to do is take some delivery shifts for old Mingi, and soon enough we'll have the place covered. Bing, don't give me that. You think I like working here? And I thought you could use the tips, he grins. Putting this together, right? Right. Okay then. Bing slips his slate back under his clothes. Just head on up to Mingi Express, take a delivery shift, and we'll see what shakes up. You manage to find anyone and extract any data, bring it right down here to me. They have me on double shifts, so it shouldn't be hard to find. Jenna walks past carrying a tray of drinks and sharply catches Fing's eye. I don't think she's bringing your drink. She's. He stands. I think it's time we call this meeting to a close. You grab the you grab the receiver from the table and slip it into her pocket. See you soon, sleeper. Stay safe, Fing adds, before turning and walking off the bar, whistling as he does. Okay, I want to see what this is. You cross between two walls of units. One of the carnivorous streets at the corner of the low end. The pressurized bridge is full of the clack of palva, the shouts of children, the whir of air filters. Oh, okay, this is a gambler. Sleeper, you turn to see a man sitting at a tavla table alone, somehow untouched by the hustle and bustle of the people around. He gestures to the ah, tongue. Please cooperate with me. He gestures to the stool on the opposite side of the table. Sit. Uh, sure. I'll sit with man. He looks like a futuristic DJ Khaled. You sit at the metal stool and you start setting out the board with counters, or at least the filter caps. Low enders typically use in the place. Pastor, he says by way of introduction, looking over his glasses. Night or day? He asks, gesturing at the caps sprayed, crudely sprayed black, crudely sprayed white and black. Let's go night. He nods. The black encounters are already on your side. Let's begin. You take a plastic die, each pitted and worn, and you roll to determine who starts. Caster rolls a 6. You a 4. I lead. He smiles, begins to move his first cap precisely along the board. Play passes back and forth between you, the dice changing hands as the caps spread along the board. As it does, Caster speaks, eyes not leaving the caps. It is unusual to see a sleeper on the eye, that's why I wanted to play you. You take your turn, rolling a 5 and a 6. Play aggressively. After all, a sleeper's mind must somehow be different to a human one. Being emulated, I mean. Caster talks. As Caster talks, you target his counters, halting his progress, but exposing your caps as you do. I don't mean to offend you. Caster meets your eye. I merely see that you are by definition different. What has been subtracted in the emulation? What has been added? He stacks a wall of counters, a boundary you must break. He hands you the die. Do you ever think about the sleeper? About what you were before and what you are now? Yeah, I always think about it. You roll a double. You roll a double one and solidify your wall. Caster whistles. The holding game, commendable. It can be brave to build from whatever came before. He rolls the dice and leaps your wall in a single move. But we cannot idle too long, sleeper. The slower we move, the sooner we are caught. The past you is not just an idea, a concept for you. It is a living, breathing person. He looks over his glasses, his eyes bright and wide. You split from them like a shadow splitting from its caster. They might They might be sleeping now, yes, but one day they will awake and carry on with their lives, unaware of your fate, no matter what it may be. He hands you the dice, smiling. You are a branch severed from the main trunk, an offshoot who refuses to die, so to speak. You roll again, under pressure now, trying to slip your caps out from under casters before he solidifies control of the game. So what I'm curious about is how you see yourself in all of this. Asta asks. What does what does this tangle of truths make you? Driven. I'm not free yet. Asta laughs. That much is obvious, Sleeper. I see it in your eyes. You're eager to make this count for something. Casta looks away, through the glass of the crowded units on all sides. But driven towards what? He starts removing the caps, his home board now full. Is there an end here, or just endurance? You try a few more rolls, attempting to get back into the game, but Castro clears his home board with a sense of the inevitable. He has known he was winning for a while. I feel I may have pushed too far. He slides another cap on the board. I apologize. My curiosity has a habit of getting the better of me. You roll to return a cap to the board, but all the spaces are blocked. Casper Castor claps his hands apologetically. You play well. Really, your weakness is not your game. He smiles warmly. We have much to learn from each other. He slides his glasses back up his nose and sits back. I feel we could share knowledge, ideas, perhaps even data. His eyes glint with that last word. To our mutual benefit, he slides his final cap from the board. It is over. He has won. I'll see. So he's a data broker. Please, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. He holds up his palms. My intention is only to help you endure here, and if I am able, feed my curiosities. The game over, you notice the bustle of the walkway once more, the call of the children, the deliveries, the arguments and reconciliations. They wash over you as you stand and leave, Pastor nodding goodbye as you do. Crossing the walkway, you replay the moves of the game in your mind, looking for an opening you sure was there. Okay, so yeah, I can like go here and I can sell data. So let's order some food because we're running low. Let's see. Can we play the order exchange? Nah. Alright now. So it's in the cycle. We don't have any more dye left. Okay, we have good dye. Let's see. Havenage protocols. Okay. I don't need a ship mind. Ball of stabilizers, nice. Let's see. Best delivery. Like, we want to do Fing stuff because it might keep us from, like, getting got by a bounty hunter. Sleeper. You see Fing coming up the corridor as you step out of Mingy's. The kelp noodle smell clinging to your clothes. He comes up fast and stops close, looking around suspiciously. I don't have long. Take these. Fing palms you a couple of those metal thumbnail-sized drives, ripper worms. My slate has been buzzing like crazy. It seems your delivery shifts have turned up, or no. It seems your delivery shifts have turned up our two targets. He squeezes your shoulder. I knew you could do it. Now we nail those snakes. Yeah, I'm ready. I know what we have to do. Good to hear it, he smiles. Hardin's boys are all connected by some kind of closed network. If you break the access protocols on both of them, you should be able to gain the location of the nearest network ports. Slot the Ripper worms into those ports, one each, and they'll feed me anything and everything stored on Hardin's shadow network. He smiles. Can't wait to see what juicy plans they have there. You hear the scuff of boots as a group comes up the corridor, likely on their way to place an order with Mingy. You turn for a second, and when you look back, Fing is already halfway down the corridor in the opposite direction. He raises a hand in farewell and is gone. You run your fingers over the tiny Ripper worm drives in your pocket and smile to yourself and you wonder how mad Jenna would be at Fing for this little excursion. Time to slot some worms. Heh. Alright. So, Pardon Agent. And I need dice. So, we will need to sleep. Before I do sleep, I do want to buy me some more stabilizer. We're running low, and I kind of don't want to go below, um, like 4 die. So let's take the stabilizer. And in the cycle. Okay, we got good die. So let's go hunt down Yatakan agent. Oh, not Yatakan, but Hardin agents. Ada. He didn't tip. Time for him to see the consequences. Pardon Agent Ports and drop in my Ripper Worm. Let's see. The worm makes a nest amongst the agent's data. Enjoy your stay, little friend. Shotgun agent, pardon agent. Let's see. Don't have anything that matches that, so we'll have to be content with that. Um I wish I could just reroll. But alas, I cannot. Okay. So I guess what we're gonna do is we are going to work on there's another quest that we need to work on, and we need mushrooms. Farm stacks, mushroom groves. Forage for fungus. So let's input the dice. And see what we get. And condition damage. Give me caps. Okay. So now we can head back to the mushroom guy and see if we can't help. See if we can't get a little bit closer to the end of his quest line. And also get some food while we're at it. Emphasis stall. Oh, so we have to wait 3 days. This might be bad actually, because I need food. And I don't think there's a way for me to get food right now. Um let's see if there's a way to get any at the Greenway. Let's see. Haifa Labs, Haifa Commune. Uh, okay. So basically, at the commune, I can turn dice into energy. That's actually really nice. And that's in the cycle. So we should have the die we need for those agents. So, code an agent. And I don't want to waste 6 die. And there's reports. And slot in the Ripper Worm. The worm begins tearing through the data cache, spinning out a thread to Fing's terminal. And then at the Fing. As we walk into the tambour, you quickly spot Fing arguing with Jenna. And I'm gonna keep my distance. It doesn't look good. Fing seems to be explaining something, but Jenna is having none of it. She points to the door and Fing walks away, catching your eye as he turns. Could have done with you getting here a minute or so ago. He glances back at Jenna. Well, either way, looks like I'm fired. Good news that it doesn't look like I need the job anyway. He takes out his slate, pulsing with pale light. Now let's take a look at what you're really here for. The slate is a whirring mess of code streams coming direct from the Ripper worms as they dig through the agent's data and spin it into threads for the slate to pick up. Anything good? Fing scrolls through the... There! Hung, please! Fing scrolls through the display with a finger. A lot of junk. A lot of dull as hell message threads. A lot of tedious data catches. But... Fing's eyes flash. Definitely some good stuff. He stops the screen scrolling on an entry and expands it. Check this out. Fing shows you the screen. You see a bold corporate logo. Not Solheim's. And a word below. Conway, Fing says. He's working with Conway. Conway Extractions? Fing nods. He's been speaking with them personally. Got a whole chain of messages here, but it's mostly encrypted or redacted. He rubs his head. Damn it, this is juicy, but we can't nail him with it. He scrolls some more. Wait, what's this? A wasteland reclamation facility, right here on the eye. Glances at you. What's the bet this place is tucked into the wastes? Conway is set up here? I'm guessing so. Got themselves set up in the wastes. Back before the collapse, people would have got there by going down the connected spoke hub. But that spoke's broken now, so the only way is long way. Round the rim past the greenway. Shows you on his slate. Luckily, we can get to the greenway, so... Fing looks away thinking. Conway has been making moves to the system since the collapse. I heard they took over Solheim's old belt colonies a while ago. Moved everyone out and reclaimed the whole rock. Why work with Hurden? Access? Old connections? Not sure. Fing looks back at the screen. But if Hurden is involved with it, then we need to check it out. Simple as that. So what's next? Fing stares out into the middle distance. We have to get to that facility. The answer is whatever Hurden The answer to whatever Hurden has been planning, has to be there. And we're going to catch him in the act. Give me 5, maybe 6 cycles. I don't have that much time, Fing. And then I'll see you on the Greenway. I seem to remember there's some old service docks in the outer shell. Up by the Haifa building. Should be a good place to meet. Fing squeezes your shoulder. Thanks again, Sleeper, for stinking with this. Sticking, mouth. Come on. I haven't forgotten about that tracker of yours either, but I'm going to need to be back in my bay to pull a solution together. He turns the slate around to face you, showing a mass of scrolling code. I've been working on a fix on my brakes. See you soon, Sleeper. He walks out the door of the camper without looking back. Okay, we got an upgrade point, which is nice. But the thing is that I don't have that much time, dude. Let's see. I want instant karma. That way I can upgrade my dice. So what we'll do is use our 6 and our 4s, and then we'll re-roll that 2. So they're like Greenway Dock. So we're waiting for Fing. That's gonna take 6 cycles. God damn it, Fing. So I still can't do anything at the wastes. So we can do botany lab quests. We can walk around the Greenway. We can I guess we can climb the spoke. Or we can hack some Yatagon agents. We need that for this quest. Let's do the spoke. Let's see. Let's not use a 6 if we don't have to. Like, we should save that for, like, you know, a special occasion. Sinclair has import export. Let's see. I can sell a ship mine for 150 cryo. That's not bad. Export Matsukake. Okay, so basically here's where I can just like trade stuff. Send to the hub. Okay, this is a completely new location. AE1 mainframe, send occur, and the hub. Let's see. Access manifests. Weightless wanderer. Here there's no gravity, it's just moving. Takes a while to get used to, get low navigating the maze. Let's see. Spacious socializing. The hub is thronging with spacers from across the circuit systems. It can be a prickly bunch, but they know the place well. And what can I do with the mainframe? The AE1 mainframe is now mostly used, even it's having set up their own master controllers. Navigator thinks the killer is heading up here. Okay, so we go here to finish the vending machine quest. And we're into the cloud. Slip into the cloud as easy as blinking. Navigator is beside you. This is the vending machine dude. I forgot to mention that we got pretty far on that quest as well. The sphere casting light into the strange darkness here. This is not how a mainframe should look. The center point of connection. I mean, I've seen mainframes. I've worked on mainframes. So, I guess maybe the object in front of you is severed, cut off, rootless, branchless tree. Only the trunk remains. Yeah, yeah, that's not how a mainframe should be. Is Pillar even here? Quiet. Navigator hisses, and then you see it like a blade in the dark, an edge slicing through the void. It glides along at a distance and winks out. Then it appears again elsewhere, gliding once more, searching. It's looking for us. Huh, okay. It's not nearly as menacing as the Hunter. Blinded Evasion Protocol. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing that because Hunter is no longer able to do its job, it's just killing anything that it sees. The moment you make a sound, the edge leaps closer, and then you see now it is not an edge, but the ridge of a long, sharp head, like a shark. It glides past, closer now, and you see into the voids where its eyes would be, should be. You and Navigator exchange looks, both thinking the same thing. It's blind. Killer crosses between you two, smooth as a razor, then disappears. It flickers back in, further away now, and you move close to Navigator to talk. You saw it too then. Killer has been blinded. And you still need to be careful. Correct, the protocol is clearly operating outside established limits. It may be unpredictable. You flinch as the silent killer appears closer and glides past you, its empty sockets open wide. You turn to Navigator and notice something strange. The orrery of spheres is collapsing. The orbits, usually round and even, are decaying. The spheres are following spiral paths, condensing on a central point. Navigator is noticing too. They go to shift their position to better direct the spheres, but they cannot. Whatever is drawing the orrery together is holding them in place. They look at you, suddenly desperate, frantic. Suddenly desperate, frantic. It's a trap. You speak, but Killer betweens the two of you, gliding through the gap. Navigator freezes, and you see them framed in the empty socket. You realize now, if Navigator can't move, then it's only a matter of time before one of the Killer's sweeping. It's only a matter of time before one of the Killer's sweeps brings them directly through Navigator. And time is not a problem for a protocol that has been running for decades. You look desperately around for a solution, a way to extract Navigator from the mainframe, and you see it. 3 branches, the last 3, thin and spin. Ah! Hung, please. Then you see it. 3 branches, the last 3, thin and spindly, feeding the mainframe a thin diet of power and data. Break these, and the mainframe collapses once and for all, severing the connection, shattering the hardware. Whatever it takes, they must be broken. But they are encased in something, a glassy layer of protection. You'll need to unlock access before snapping them from the mainframe for good. You look at Navigator, trying to reassure them without speaking, and then you blink back to reality, the expression of fear after an image that slowly fades. You must act quickly. Okay, so 3 branches in the mainframe. So I need encrypted keys. Okay, so here on the node. Let's see. So re-roll that to a 5. I do not think we can use that 5. Oh yeah, we can. 2 encrypted keys. The cloud, a glint like a light traveling along the edge of a wave fills your eyes. Ah! The blade follows a long head with 2 dead sockets slipping towards you in silence. You freeze, hoping it'll pass you by, hoping that it will not simply slice through you like air. The blade head nears, slides past you, almost. It nicks you, grazes you. You're desperate to cry out, call out, but you hold your silence and simply watch the blind eyes of the killer glide past, empty of all thought. Brain empty, only kill. Then the blade winks into the dark and you're alone again. Now you cry out. Okay, so I took some condition damage. Um, so let's unlock these. And then we'll go and get some rest. And like I need to be up here anyway because Ankita's quest finishes here as well. It, it sucks I have to deal with this. So let's head home to my container. And take a sip of water. And there's our drunk again. You miss me? Ethan smiles, a ragged smile at you. Just gonna walk away. Ethan follows along and you notice he is limping. Come on, sleeper, just a little joke. I know you have a sense of humor. I feel like he's paler than usual, hunched. He's sporting a black eye and more than a few cycles of beard growth. That's no way to greet an old friend. Friend? Well, he pauses. Colleague? He smiles weakly. This is big, really big stuff about you. It seems more jittery than usual, on edge. You remember how S and Herb canceled the contract on you? The contract I was going to collect? Seriously, Ethan? Well, I'm guessing you're pretty happy about that shit. Overjoyed? Me, I lost everything, but let's not worry about that. He smiles sarcastically. And so what did you think? That was it? I was just glad to be done with you. Oh, the feeling was mutual, except Ethan leaves a dramatic pause. What if old S and Herb gave the bounty to someone else? Someone who's even more of a shithead than yours truly. He smiles darkly. What a disaster that would be. Who? Ethan grins. That's the question, isn't it? Ethan fishes around in his pocket for a slip of paper. I've been speaking to some friends, you see, some colleagues, about what went down, and it turns out S and Up canceled all their bounty contracts. The whole lot. It seems they brought someone in-house. Someone who did so well in the last contract, they got offered a job. He leans in. Apparently he made a hit on this ship called the Winter Wonderland. Apparently he made a hit on the ship called the Winter Wonderland or something. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we know this ship. We know this ship. It's in the scrapyard. It was smuggling sleepers out from under S and Up's big corporate nose. He killed the crew and blew the ship. Inky. Um, Ethan whistles. They called him Himwick or Maywick or something. He gives up looking for the paper. I forget. You mean Winter Light. That's it. He looks at you hard. So you do know about all this. He pats you on the shoulder. Then you'll be very happy to hear what I'm about to offer you. Ethan runs his hands through his greasy hair. Given this new information I've brought to light, seems like you're in need of protection. It's gonna extort me. Wait for the pitch. I, meanwhile, am in need of assistance in kind. Turns out I upset some of the people at the compressor the last time we were there. The owners. Oh, that's not common. The owners. And they say they'll space me unless I work off the debt. It seems they are that kind of businessman, he grimaces. I would pay them, but he shrugs and turns his jacket pockets inside out into a mime of poverty. He looks pitiful, even more so for his clownish acting. And work it off. You should be glad, the anger rising in him now. But I came here and told you this. You think anyone is looking out for you? You are a contract, name on a list. He kicks the wall. Ethan rubs his temples. I'm sorry, he hisses. I'm sorry for being a shit and trying to kill you and whacking that thick skull of yours, he sighs. You think I want to go up against the sky? But us, he jabs a finger between two of you, we don't have a choice. So you keep me from getting killed and I'll do the same for you. We can help each other, a straight 50-50 deal. He looks at you. I'm not asking for a favor. Fine. It's like I have a choice now. Ethan smiles. He looks like shit warmed up. Just, he pauses. Think about Maywick. Think about that cold-eyed essing up shit on his way from the core systems. He smiles. That should give you the motivation you need. Ethan swaggers off down the corridor, throwing his jacket over his shoulder. Can't wait to be working with you, he shouts. Okay, it's a new drive. Back in Conway. That's not it. Let's see. Eight. I have, I have that though. Like I'm in the Greenway right now. Save me now. No, this. So we have good dye. That's pretty neat. Let's head back up the spoke, see if we can't finish that quest. Branch 3. So is it this one that we need? Okay, it's this one. Oh, yeah, that's right. We need go here first. So have a 3 and extract the data and leave. Drop in the key. And then slice hardware. Let's see. Get hacking system. Killer has to die. If you can slice each branch connections to the main will shut down, freeing navigator. The access to the branches, you could redirect from a loop, isolating the mainframe killer inside, freeing navigator. Theory. Um, we're gonna try and kill the we're gonna try and kill the killer here. I can re-roll that too. As you blink into the cloud, you see the last flickers of life from the This vast machine once ran the whole station, span it up, directed and processed the flow of energy, water, and data, fed the lives of thousands of people. Now it is finally dead. Navigator is beside you, and you both watch as the branches flash and twitch like forked lightning until they recede and fade. Killer flickers across the scene, blindly flailing as the system breaks down. They thrash as they blink in and out all around, first of them disappearing with each return until only blade-like head remains, and then that too is broken. It all goes dark. Erlin's eye is now without a center, and yet is unmoved by the change. Along the rim, the master control points at Erlin. That havenage, the Haifa installed, runs strong and steady, upending the station from its periphery. That was a long time coming, says Navigator, drifting faintly around you in a lazy orbit as if to shake off their imprisonment. Killer had been wandering blind for so long. This place was their domain and prison. They had followed the directives for the many decades they roamed here. They cut the threads to the mainframe, executed its administrator AIs, and then kept slicing. At some point, they cut away their own ability to see, to sense, to taste, to speak. It has no mouth and it must scream. And yet, they kept cutting until only those three threads remained. For millions that once thrummed here, only their blindness and chance kept them from making those final three fatal cuts. There is a ceaseless violence in the kind of system that creates beings like this, those that will execute commands endlessly, even to their own destruction. It's good you ended it here. You watch the data points of the station spin around you, blending with the fixed stars. There's something satisfying about finally wrenching the last threads of control from the central point. It was little more than a ghost by the time you reached it, but this place deserves to be haunted by better ideas and a totalizing system of control. Navigator floats beside you. It is free now. The station no longer presents a hazard for illegal entities like me. They turn to you, their face a cloud of shimmering light. In fact, in time, perhaps it can be a refuge. A refuge that sounds something of value, something worth building. A dark shape passes across your vision. A distant curve of something like smoke or oil, a fluid, shifting tank of total dark, a shifting tank of total darkness. The Greenway, says Navigator, following your line of sight, was cut off at the moment of the collapse, so hunter or killer could never reach it. Now it is closed off to us, separated from the cloud. What system is inside of it? It may be totally dark, or perhaps some other old protocols are isolated there. Navigator turns to you, and we have now seen what decades of isolation can do to a protocol. If we could extract an access cipher, they pause, then blink out of existence. You freeze, shocked, but a moment later they reappear, the glowing polygon of data. Here, the cipher you need. You take it, still shocked. I'm not used to being free, to being able to move and explore and extract without fear, without limits. Navigator does a little twirl. Happy Navigator. Cute. This will take some getting used to. Thank you for this gift. They whirl on those spheres around you. The entities of this station will always be friends to you, Sleeper, and I to them. It is true that mutual need is required for friendship, but I must admit I had not considered the value of offering assistance without personal gain. I will think of that. Navigator loops around you rapidly, suddenly eager to test their newfound freedom. But first I will explore. Perhaps there are still intelligences that hid themselves, as I did, encased in simple systems cut off. Navigator glows. I should like to free them. And with that they drift away, flickering, glowing, shifting so rapidly you 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 lose sight of them amongst the glittering rim of the eye. You feel a pang of jealousy, free, without a body to weigh you down or fear to limit you. How it must feel. Your eyes fall on the Greenway and its secrets, though perhaps that can wait until after you've celebrated this victory. Okay, we got an upgrade point. So, to the Greenway. Let's see. Still waiting on Finn. Can't do anything in the wastes. Let's see. Spore study. So we'll need spores for that. Cook the stacks, butter for food. You don't want to steal if you don't have to. Okay, so I guess this is the Greenway gate that we need. Slot Greenway site. The cloud. The Greenway roils beneath you like a slit, like a silt-choked river. What if what Navigator said was true, then no one has access to these networks since the collapse. The hunter and killer protocols have never set foot here, never cleared out the intelligences and systems. So why then, you wonder, does it look so dark? Is it just that the bit rot has set in? The entropy of systems reducing everything to shadows and light? You watch as the slotted cipher fizzles in the one open, distorted gateway on this entire rim of the station. It flickers and winks out, and then you are falling into the flow. A river of swirling darkness. You're spun by it, twisted by it, lost in it. It's not the Greenway was hiding in the darkness. It is made of darkness. It is filled by this subspace, this process, this swarm. You are among it. You notice that a swarm is exactly what it is, a billion individuals moving in a flow. There's no network map here, no nodes and threads, only a storm of interchangeable points shifting configuration endlessly. Then you see them, a figure turned away, the only bright spot in a dark river. You push closer through the storm. Gardner, ingrown farm administrator. They are facing away, at least you think so. They are so fractured, so overgrown that it is hard to tell. Even from this distance, you can see their flesh is moving, growing. You watch, silent, as they stoop and reach down. In their hand is a dark shape, and with twisted fingers they press it down into the loam of data beneath them, pushing it through this trembling soil. They then move away, go a little further, and repeat the process, as if they were sowing a field. You push forward, but somehow, despite their slow and deliberate speed, they move faster. They quickly fade into the storm. You reach the point where they planted the object and look down. There it is, a glassy, shifting polygon with something inside. You reach down and pick it up. It's cold, but thrums with energy. You look towards the path of the figure, but they're long gone. When you blink out of the cloud and back to the leaves, the dappled light of the greenway, hold a seed in your hand. Okay. So anything else I can do while here? No. So what do I do now? Liver spores, hyper commune. proceed, you need to find somewhere safe to plant this gift. Farm stacks, overgrown biosphere. Um, sure. Um, let's see. New drive discovered. Grow mushrooms. Book that is. Clear the cave carry. Clear the over. Okay, so this is where we plant the gardener seed, but we have to unlock it. So where is Ethan? Okay, so this is actually going to take our die. So that's irritating. At least we have a decent amount of time before Maywick shows up. Okay, food. We need it. Hi, Emphas. Okay, so this is another upgrade point. Emphas is preparing the Goral caps. He has had to heavily adapt this recipe. He says that He says, but the smell is already incredible. It emanates from a strange purplish white bulb you have never seen before. He is slicing it. He is slicing it finely. He brushes and slices the mushrooms and then places them in the wok with the sliced bulb and the oil. They caramelize there in that well-worn crucible. He adds liquids, transparent and opaque, and then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch. We have a moment, sleeper, he smiles. You have a story? Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia, something distant and melancholic. It seems like the story would match that feeling somehow. Maybe you'll feel better by telling it. All your oldest memories. You start by explaining that when you are emulated from a person, many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it is an intentional part of the process, a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable, or perhaps it is a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit that you don't really know. What you do know is that some memories survive, and that on occasion they come back to you, like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory, which, despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it familiar, always fades as quickly as it arrives. You struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you've forgotten something important, but you can't bring it to mind. Emphas nods throughout cooking as he does with deft and skillful movements. You start to trail off and you realize that you can't find the words to explain like how the memories you do have feel like both yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with a certain sadness. I can understand that. You don't know if like the memories you have are truly yours. The sadness of remaining forever unknown even to yourself. Emphas finishes cooking and meets your eye. I'm sorry, sleeper, for your troubles. He puts the wok to one side. I appreciate you sharing with me, he smiles. I hope it lightens you a little. He passes you a bowl and heaps the rolls into it, the yellow color mixing with the pale sauce, the walls and blooms. Eat. The dish is delicious, filling. The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat in a way you weren't sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy you think that Essen Earp left you with this pleasure, or you think it's small mercy you think that Essen Earp left you this pleasure. Okay, so basically he's saying that it's so good that if Essen Earp gave you food that good, you probably wouldn't have left. Many of the features of Many of the features of frames are there to simulate human experience. You know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so the need for embodied experience must be met. This is why you breathe even when you do not need air. Without that, without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it, produce energy from the raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power, and so much is wasted. And yet, while you eat this food, you feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Emphas takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. Instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back to the bright market, somehow changed. Hey, I'm full on food. Okay, and I have an upgrade point. Let's see. Random scrap item on engineer actions. Um, I think that's probably like a good thing to have. Like double instant karma would be nice for fishing, but Austin Greenway. Okay, so you still require a lot of cycles. That's really irritating. So basically, the worst that happens is that it doesn't go as fast. Okay, so chill at the Haifa dorm, and we leave. And we'll re-roll that one. Let's see. So Germinate spores. Well, that was a waste. I'm going to need food soon. Not food, but medicine soon. The Haifa commune, it's good for like food, but it's not good for like money, which is something that I still need for right now. Let's see. Or exchange. Well, that didn't help me out at all. Uh, there's someone I can hack. Got a gun agent. Yes. Okay. Got a gun data. Oh, actually, I have to extract the data. Can't let it sit there. Um, data. And then let's end the cycle. Um, 3 dice I can work with for right now. Let's try to take care of Ethan's debt. That 6 isn't going to help me like that much. I should probably use it to get me some cryo. Then go ahead to the Haifa colony. And projectile stabilizer. Well, nah, let's just end the cycle. 3 dice is fine. The issue comes with when we get down to 2. So toss the dice in here, get some energy. Let's see. You're almost done. So we need spores. So one grove spore. And another grove spore. Good. Aviary. And then we end the cycle. Kind of hungry. Before we do anything, stomp a die. And then talk to Fing. When you enter the service dock, Fing is already set up. Crouched among stacks of equipment, he's leaning over a terminal bathed in a blue glow. He looks totally at home. Sleeper, what do you think? Turns out not everyone in Havenage is set against me. A couple of my old systems pals managed to ship me some of my old gear. He gestures at the pile of blinking hardware. The mess is here. Bing laughs. Don't question the process, Sleeper. I'm not. That's a celebration. I know how this stuff works. I mean, you should see my setup. Just a rat's nest of cables. Bing laughs. Don't question the process, Sleeper. Any updates? Bing, Bing beckons you over. He has a set of scans of the wastes on his terminal with heat maps of activity overlaid. A chunk of the derelict rim is blotchy with bright red and orange marks. Does this look like a wasteland to you? Bing shakes his head. There are hundreds of Conway machines out there, all lined up in concealed hangars, and the whole underground facility to support them. Burden has got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece to the shipyard, ready for assembly out there. Why? I know what a machine is. They're planning something. No one needs hundreds of heavy-duty reclamation drones to run this kind of operation. Maybe Hurden masks this whole thing as an effort to clean up the waste, but there's no way this is about pulling scrap off the eye. Bing looks worried. And that's right, why Conway is in the mix. I bet no one on Havenage knows either. Well, I bet no one in Havenage knows another corporation is setting up on the station. They aren't stupid either. These scans are the best info I can get. The race are cut off the eye's cloud of networks, and the greenway is a total dark zone. No data can come in or out. I can try. No use. You need to enter the cloud, and there's no cloud to speak of. He turns and winks. That's why I'm going to pay them a visit. How? You forget, Havenage come in and out of their all cycle. I should be able to get in. As long as no one I know sees me, says playfully. But I need you on the outside to disable security systems and cut me a pathway through. There's no cloud access, but if I can get inside, I can open up nodes to the network and we can work in tandem. It's a massive facility buried deep down there. Miles of corridor and ventways wrapped around cargo bays and hangars, so it'll take more than a few cycles to work through it. But As long as you can keep them off my back, I know I can rip what we need out of there. He pulls a handful of ripper worms from his pocket and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers. I managed to salvage, so make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their data threads back into the system that they're tunneling into, creating a nasty little feedback loop. We run it just like we did with the agents. Hack the nodes, I ping to locate the ports for the security system, then slot the worms in those systems and let them go to town. He points to a fuzzy silhouette of the buried facility on the terminal. Here's the entryway. This is where you can get access and slot the first worm. That'll fry the perimeter systems and get me past the first cordon. What I need from you is to keep your eyes on the facility after you kick things off. See me pop the security system, a server bank, you need to break in and slaughter rippers to disable it as soon as you can. If I can't, Bing gives you a hurt look. You miss a system, you wait too long, they're gonna find me. Simple as that. He taps you on the shoulder. I need you focused on this one, so I'm going to let you fire the starting gun. I won't go until you slot that first worm. I'll leave a tracker running on the terminal here, so come back here if you want to see my progress. Affectionately past the top of the screen. Got it. Don't worry, you can run rings around the protocols. I've seen it. Bing gets up. It's all in place. You just need to make your own preparations and slot that worm. He stretches. Just don't wait too long. I'm getting bored of all the sneaking around. Once inside, I'll get to the proof we need to end this whole thing. No matter what. He crouches to check the terminal. We can't take longer than 6 cycles on this thing. Remember that. He stands up. Oh, and one last thing. He lowers his voice. If I get caught, you can't reach me or you run out of time. There's one thing I need you to do. You take whatever I've managed to pull at that point, all that data, you slot that stuff straight into the relay of setup here. He points to a pile of servers and terminals hooked to the dock with cables as thick as your arm. I repurposed the dock's SOS broadcast system to beam out whatever you put into it. Anyone with a terminal, a slate, or a server on the eye will see it. That means Havenage, Yatagon, the hub, everyone. No matter what, Irvin isn't snaking away this time, he grins. I've got a bit more to do here, but the moment you slot that first worm, I'll make my move. He gives you a parting smile and then turns back to the terminal. The nerves hit you as you make your way out of the service dock. Time to prepare yourself. Okay, so shit got serious. Um, so I have some spores. Really only needed one, but whatever. Aviary, burden. Okay, so that's gonna take 4 cycles. Um, Eiffel Labs. And we need to prepare. This means I need cryo for food. So head to the port exchange. That should get me enough food. So I get these from the hub. End the cycle. Let's start taking care of Ethan's debt. And then end the cycle. Stabilizer. So yeah, like this is the final clock, essentially. So this would be like finishing Ethan's quest, finishing Fing's quest, or finishing Ankita's quest. Fin- Finishing Ethan's quest will likely be the easier one. They're never going to release my debt, the shits. Ethan kicks out a locker, and the sound rattles loudly around the room. Ethan paces around the small room, swearing to himself. You watch him from the locker room bench. Calm down, they'll do it. Why not? Why not? He spits to the floor. An old habit. I like having sniveling little shits like us to work the club. Saves on the overheads and they get bosses. Saves on the overheads and they get the bosses around. He kicks the locker again and swears. What do we do? Ethan looks at you. You're asking me? That's your problem, sleeper. No ideas of your own? You tie yourself to idiots like me, and then you're surprised when you get dragged into a shitstorm. I can't do it. I can't spend another shift stopping spacers, bringing nail guns to the club, or pouring endless shots of Reol for ignorant Havenage work crews. He looks at the locker again, threatening it with a final kick. I mean it. I'm going to go up there and shoot every single one of those shits. He makes a finger gun. They deserve it. He laughs. He stops pacing. But you know, Sleeper, that's not a bad idea you have there. Terrible idea. But is it though? He gives you a look. I don't mean shooting up the place. I mean getting the gun. He sits beside you on the bench. Think about it. What am I supposed to do when Maywick gets here? Shout, shout him down? I need that gun if you want me to keep my end of the deal. It's simple. An explosive personality for a distraction at the front. He places a hand on his own chest. A sneaky sleeper to go in the back. He pats her chest. What about the debt? We've done our time, and the runes, they faded. If they don't notice us take the gun, they'll never know it's gone. Plus, he stands up. After my distraction, they'll be happy to see the back of me. Or they'll want you dead even more. I mean, I want him dead even more, so. Either works. At least I'd never have to see the inside of the shithole again. He gives the locker one last kick, but good luck. Let me know when you want to do this. Then we both move as one and meet up in the bright market after. But don't take too long. Or I really will shoot this place up, Vince. You know I'll do it. Let's see. Grab the gun. Um, sure. Let's go ahead and get our protection. The gun tucked safely into her pocket, you work your way down the stairs that lead up to the office. The doorman passes you and exchanges nods. It seems like you're in the clear. You hurry on, eager to get out before anyone spots anything. As you come down the main stairway to the front of the club, you see Ethan entering. He has a dark look in his eyes, which troubles you. He's reaching to the pocket of his coat, slowly, carefully. You catch his eye, and he raises an eyebrow. You shake your head. A long pause, then he nods and turns around, walking back out of the club. You exhale, not realizing you are holding your breath. And then you're out, without a single shout, without anyone noticing. You meet Ethan around the corner on a quiet, bright market walkway. You have it? He looks nervous. What were you doing back there? I was about to start a distraction like we agreed, he sighs. Just show me. You lift it out of your pocket, and it's colder, heavier than you expected. Ethan watches you take it out. Nice. Now, if you would, he beckons with his hand. A memory jumps into your mind of Ethan in the compressor, hand out asking for his gun back. A memory followed by the memory of a sharp, dizzying pain. You flinch. Ethan eagerly grabs the gun and looks down with the sights. He has a sigh of relief. Then he meets your eye and slowly raises the gun until it's pointing directly at your head. Not funny. You still don't get it, do you, Sleeper? Ethan spits. When they canceled that contract, I lost everything. My reputation, my payout, any way of getting off this shitty station. Everything. All I had left was you, he grins. A naive little sleeper with a heart of gold. I couldn't believe it worked, he laughs. Now we are done. And stays silent. He slides a slate out of his jacket pocket with his other hand, now to call Maywick. Are you crazy? You're a crazy sleeper for thinking I'd kill one of my own for you. For what? Help me wash dishes? He laughs, long and loud. And you hate him for it. He paws the slate. Done. He puts it away. He's here, you know, on the station. I've been speaking with him. He tells me we can split the contract. Not 50-50, but enough for finder's fee that I can get out of this shithole. He's lying. At this point, Sleeper, I'm not sure you are the one who I trust to spot a lie, he winks. Ethan glances around. I've learned one thing from you, though, Sleeper. In all our cycles working in that shitty club, he smiles. People never know when to cut and run. It's like they freeze in the headlights when the future is bearing down on them. They watch it coming, watch their death flying in at fraction drive speed. You had every chance and you still kept on going, like some idiot robot going through the motions, even when you knew you'd be crushed. He smirks. Let me tell you something else. The shot enters through his upper back and he crumples immediately to the ground. You drop too without thinking, pressing yourself to the walkway floor like it might save you. Silence. Ah, shit. You look up and see him coming down the walkway. Silent, eyes alight. Maywick. You freeze in fear. Here it comes. You see it just by Ethan's crumpled body, the gun. Move. Can't. Reach forward. Go for it. You run forward and a shot sounds out. You feel it ripple over your back. Then your hands are on the gun, and you scramble to your knees behind Ethan's body and fire. You close your eyes. You fire again and again and again until I refuse to call it a clip, until the magazine is empty and all that are left are clicks. That's like the first like major hiccup that I've seen in the writing. It's not a clip. You don't use zipper clips for like modern pistols. Maybe if you're using a broom handle Mauser, maybe. But like we've seen the gun. We've seen what it looks like. It's a magazine. Then you drop the gun and stand up. You don't hear anyone running. You don't hear anything. You just hear the sound of your own breath. You start walking, stepping over Ethan's static body, walking along the pathway, and then past Maywick. His eyes now dark, some mechanical fluid leaking from his chest. Perhaps the same fluid that's inside you. Ah, I see. They set a sleeper to hunt a sleeper. Kind of messed up, actually. You know, sending someone to hunt their own kind. You try not to think about it. You keep going, and the sound comes back. The eye comes back. And as it does, you hear the sound of thousands of people getting on with their lives. Thousands of people who are just going to keep going until they can't anymore. You look up, and all you see are the wheeling stars. They're spinning, and you are suddenly dizzy, though the eye has always spun like this, hasn't it? You don't stop walking, keep going. That's all there is now, the path forward. S and UP have left you no history, no past to speak of, just a void that threatens to swallow you if you slow down. You think of Ethan's smile, his voice, and feel sick. Is it over? You aren't sure it ever can be. You're still here and you can't stop now. There has to be a better end than this. Let's see. So we have an upgrade point. We can't upgrade anything though. Um, let's see. I can get rid of this negative trait. Um, this might be worth saving up for. So that's like another 2 points. Let's see. Um, at the same time, it might be worth upgrading this as well. Because I can always sell scrap for chits, so I think that's kind of worth it. I don't have to worry about Maywick anymore. That's good. Attack a Yatagon agent. Extract the data. Because I need that from here. Continue. As you turn away from the terminal, the final cache of Yatagon data uploaded. The air crackles with white noise. Sleeper, Sabine's voice, weaker than before, comes through the haze. Listen. This is not a recording, Sleeper. Please, I don't have much time. The call must be coming in from somewhere on the station. This has to be short. I don't know if Yatakan are monitoring me. Their voice is hushed, distant. You try to focus on it. The data you've been bringing in from Yatakan agents, there's something in it. I don't understand. The shrill howl rattles through the signal. This data is all gleaned from their implants, records of integration with their nervous systems, performance analysis, error rates, usage data. I installed many of these implants, and I didn't enable any of this functionality. The voice dips under the level of noise, like a swimmer slipping beneath the water. You listen to the waves for a few seconds before Sabine reemerges. It has to be somehow baked into the wetware's interface. And that's not all. The systems compiling this data are connected to some kind of transmission protocol. It's being broadcast. Wait, why? Every Yatagan enforcer is equipped with black market implants, retinal enhancements, adrenaline boosters, pain suppressors. These implants are gathering data on themselves, on the enforcers' bodies, on their performance. Why? I can't tell. But I can promise you these foot soldiers have no idea this is going on. The background tone switches, dropping to a grainy rumble. If they knew, I don't imagine they would be happy with the situation. Yatagan could have a mutiny on their hands. You lean towards the terminal, straining to listen to Sabine's faint voice. I need a few cycles to pull this all together, but this might be the information I need to pressure Yannick into releasing my debt. I guess Yannick is like the head of Yatagan. He's one of the literally word for fucking word. He's one of the heads of Yatagan. Yep. They pause. It's better you don't know him. Keep it that way. Suddenly a banging of echoes to the call. Sabine's voice is suddenly whispered. Panic. I have to go. Come back in 4 cycles. and the sharp crack of a disconnected silence fills the apartment. You step back from the terminal. What does Yatagon have to gain from monitoring its own members? You try to recall what you know about the gang, but you have little to go on. You think of Toshiro, Sabine's minder, his mirrored teardrop implants set below herd eyes. What data could they be gathering? More importantly, where are they sending it? You reflexively rub your forehead, trying to think. Can you really trust Sabine? How did they come to be Yatagan's doctor in the first place? You think of their kindness, their care, but also that glazed look of recognition you have when they first met you. That look stays in your mind as you slip back out of the apartment, glancing around as you close it up and drift through the corridors of the station, unable to shake the unpleasant sensation of being observed. Okay, so have to wait for that. Let's see. I guess like I can make this like a new home. Um, Founders Ferry. Um, so waiting on that. 2 more cycles. I guess I can work the spores, or no. Let's see if we can continue Emphasis quest. Send to the hub. Let's see. I don't need to socialize, and I don't have cryo. Some mushroom grows. Guess we collect some spores. Um, leave. Okay, so that's a bug because we don't have to deal with the Mavic anymore. Okay, back to labs. I know that like with this, I can get me like a cheaper alternative to my medicine. Rico. Sleeper. Rico greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight looking console wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. What does it say? The spores you have here are a real cocktail, a selection of types from within the groves. But I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have, let's see, Tricholoma matsutake. Biko breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciations as if it was nothing. A species Solheim somewhat modified it for use on station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradient connected burrs and obtuse acronyms. This composition of this is the composition of the Solheim modified Matsukake spores. Modified? Yes, every species on the eye is a tweaked variant of Solheim's, of course. But that's not the point. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout, but with wildly different colors and numbers. You see, this is what your Matsukake spores look like. They aren't the same? That's the conclusion, yes. Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They are fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked versions in the beginning, but the groves have and still are affecting them. And do they still grow? Exactly, she smiles. What I wondered. She moves to another desk where two trays sit side by side. The first contained nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it. The pungent aroma of the fruiting matsukake, like rotting, sodden overalls laced with an edge of spice. The matsukake here are grown from Solheim stalks, pulled from a spore vault in its complex, she winks. They are delicious, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. You made a mistake? You think this is the first batch I've tried? Please. Lol. Miko looks at you directly, and then suddenly you realize how much she is enjoying this. So here's a puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab, but gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. You need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. Sure, I need to become a mushroom farmer. I could have already started. Rico looks impressed. Well, well, an eager mycologist. I never have guessed. I assume you set yourself up in the aviary. I've been eyeing that place for its proximity to the groves. Bring me whatever grows, not just Matsutake. There's more than a couple variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. He plucks a Matsukake cap from the tray. These little things are reflections of the conditions, their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. He smells the cap. Enough of these, and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself, or being modified, whichever the case may be. Riko pops the Matsukake cap in her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper, she says, while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. I like Riko. Riko's cool. Okay, we're still waiting on these. We still have like 2 more cycles. At this point, we can actually just kind of like take our time, I think. Because like these are only 2 clocks now. Um, so let's end the cycle. You wake from the dreams of Maywick's amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. It is difficult to get sleep. You suspect that isn't about to change anytime soon, not after what happened. But you also feel something else as you get up. Thumb to the power stud. Thumb the power stud of the stove, begin to boil the water like every morning. You feel something has lifted, something that has been hanging over you since you arrived at the station. You try not to think too hard about it, question it. Just let that lightness stray, let it settle as you go through your routines. You, your hope is that if you don't focus on it, don't look at it directly, you won't get scared and leave. It won't get scared and leave you. Ah, your hope is that your hope doesn't leave. That the lightness will stay for the cycle, and then another, and then another, because after all that's happened, a little lightness would be nice. Oh, okay. Um, Unfortunately, we're gonna have to sacrifice one of these die because we're starving. Um, Although, I mean, the smart thing to do wouldn't be sacrifice it to the type of commune, the smart thing to do would be to like use it to make some money. Um, so that's going to be, let's see. I don't have any endurance. So get some cryo. And that should be enough to give me some food. Then we leave. And we're gonna start the end of Bing's quest. So Conway access. And let's slot that Ripper worm and get started. The worm tunnels in and starts looping the data through the node. Conway facility opening up for you. Godspeed, Fing. The cloud. As you slot the worm, the thread jumps out of the facility and unspools in front of you, releasing its data like ink in water. Sleeper, Bing's voice crackles through, moving in. Nodes, then ports. A whir of interference. Slot the worms. Time starts now. Stay safe. The thread dissipates. You're on your own now. So I don't want to waste these. But, we do have 6 cycles. Let's see. So, like, we can afford to. Yeah, we can afford to, wait a cycle. Uh, Send to the hub. We can social. Um, be a little social. Gimbal Lounge and Bliss Ship Mechanic. Oh, she's cute. No way, Moritz. You take these substandard photos back to the shitheels who sold you them. Uh, I keep on, like, reading a sentence and then assuming it's going to keep on going. Like, I end my sentences with inertia, it seems. No way, Moritz. You take those substandard photos back to the shitheels who sold you them. You hear a voice echoing out of the bay as you pass, and moments later, someone who you assume is Moritz drifts out of it, dragging a pallet of photo cartridges by a tether. Hey, you out there, the same voice echoes out of the entrance. Looking for work? Who, me? Everyone on the station is looking for work. Get in here. That voice is coming from someone shorter than you expected. She's floating in the microgravity of the docking bay. beside a half deconstructed life support unit that looks like it might have exploded at some point. She points a Vince in your direction. You know anything about these things? She doesn't wait for an answer. Scratch that, just help me with the casing. Alright then. He definitely moves around the unit, making space for you beside the central seam with a dented space. Just take a grip here and lift it out and up. Then I can get in and unbolt it. She whacks the unit with a wrench. Whole thing is twisted as shit. Oh, and she's foul mouthed. She's cute, shaved head, glasses, with a, like, horribly foul mouth. I love her. She is waifu now. Her name is even adorable. You dig your fingers under the casing and lift it away, the metal squealing from the force. She puts her hands under, spinning the wrench to slip out the bolts, catching them in her other hand while they spiral free. All good. The casing lifts off, revealing the ornate piping of the unit's interior. She whistles at the mess of ducts and filters. By the way, everyone calls me Bliss. She pats you on the shoulder, offering little in the way of an explanation. What do you do here? Repairs, fit ups, teardowns. Bliss starts work. Bliss starts pushing and pulling at the ductwork, looking for fractured pipes. We haggle for contracts, but the good ones get snapped up quick by the bigger bays. So here I am trying to get this M2 unit running again for all the freelance tugs. Small time stuff. Hold this. She rips out a ribbed pipe and hands it to you like a freshly caught fish. The image is kind of hilarious. We turn stuff around fast and neat. Maybe we get a chance at landing something bigger. Something starts hissing at the unit, and Bliss tightens it with a precise whack. But to be honest with you, the way things are going, I can already see the other crews licking their lips, ready to take this place over. She looks up at you. I'm almost out of luck. Offer to help. Appreciate it. Let me finish before you jump, though. She keeps working, twisting aside pipes with care. There we are. Bliss pulls her hand from deep inside the unit. Out it comes, clutching a lumping cube, scorched black. This thing must have overloaded and popped half of itself out the side. You both duck down to the side of the unit and spot the exit wound. Its edges fringed with more scorch marks. Grab me a replacement converter from the racks, will ya? Head to the rack. You kick off from the unit and drift over to the wall racks where a catalog of parts sits, secured in clamps. Colored tape and scrawled notes flutter across the wall. A complex organizational system of Bliss's own design, which is a big mess. You try to pick out the right part. Let's see. So we don't need a transformer. We need one of these. I think it's this one. You grab the part and push back to the unit. Bliss holds out an arm and you pass it over. The converter is spinning gently as it leaves your hand. Perfect. You passed. She straightens up from the unit. That is, if you want to work here. Bliss rubs her hands clean, looking down at her palms. Truth is, I need a hand here. My partner skipped out on me and left me with a whole mess. You seem like you might at least be better at spotting a clean air filter than Mortis. Or Moritz. Not Mortis. I'd be happy to. I do literally anything for you, Bliss. Literally anything. Oh, that's interesting. I moved my mouse and like the background jiggles. Can you see that? Look at that. My background don't jiggle. Wait, she frowns at the racks. That's not all of it. My old business partner, they fenced the place, emptied the accounts. To bid for jobs, we need to put down deposits, bring in parts, pay tug fees. For that, she looks nervous, embarrassed. We need chits. An investment. Exactly. Partners straight split. Bliss settles herself against the unit and looks off to the distance. Guess I look pretty stupid. I mean, you look pretty. Don't know about stupid, but you look pretty. Here I am asking any random passerby to be my business partner. No offense, she manages to smile. I get it. Thanks. She meets your eye. I appreciate it. Bliss goes back to working on the unit. Look, it's no pressure. You find the money, or you find someone who has, or you just forget the whole thing. Up to you. He gestures for you to help her refit the casing, and you both slot it back into place. I think I'm gonna wrap this one up for now. But if you're into it, come back and we can bid on a new contract. Something to get our teeth into. Something that pays. She gives you a serious look. You can trust me, I don't say this stuff lightly. You kick away from the bay, propelling yourself back to the handholds at the entrance. You slip out with a wave, and as you do, someone slips back in. You hear Bliss as you glide down the passageway. Moritz, I swear to God, if those photos aren't clean. You smile. Seems like this could be interesting. Let's see. And then the gimbal lounge. Buy a spacer mule. How much do you require? 80 chits. Oof, that's rough. Um, let's head back down. Oh, these are capsules. I'll pass. Too rich for my blood. Um, now. I need a place that I can make money. Also clear this bug. I guess it's going to be board exchange. Okay, and now let's head back to the Greenway and let's continue Fing's quest. Well, let's end cycle and then continue Fing's quest. Let's see. Two random rare mushrooms, one real cap. So we actually do need the ones, so so two random rare mushrooms. So before we do anything else, extract the data. And give it the worm. Makes progress. Layers unlocked. I have a 4. And I have a 5. And drop in the worm. Layer X unlocked. Okay, this requires 6 or 4, 6 or 5, 5 or 3. Okay, so let's let's harvest another mushroom. Eh, let's see. Have Matsutake caps, subhead caps. Let's see. And I can also give real samples. And then I can't do anything with these, so I'll just save them. Um, I don't know, it's kind of not worth it. Um, Sacrifice this last die to the Hyper Commune. Because, the worst thing I get is like 2 energy out of it. It's basically a meal. And, in the cycle. And then back here, have the 5. Have a 4. And we have a 3, so I don't have to waste the 6. And let's drop in a worm. Last worm. All layers unlocked. A thread from the facility cuts the cloud like a hail-line crack of light. That's it, the final layer of security broken. Somewhere, buried in the depths of the station, Fing is in control. He's slicing the camera control units and piping out the result. The thread flickers and unravels into an image, a scene, 2 figures in a room, one sat, the other pacing. The pacing figure resolves into Herden, the unmistakable superior posture, the shock of gray hair. The second figure's features don't seem to resolve. They are vague, uni- un- unformed. A problem with the data, perhaps? You look closer. I'm willing to bet that this is like Yatagon. Then you see it. The figure is a proxy. Perhaps you should have expected it from Conway, a corporation whose very existence is owed to automation. The proxy is a machine designed to be piloted by some remote connection. Someone elsewhere in the system puppeteering it with their own body, speaking so it may speak. The proxy sits impassively, while the Conway executive that is piloting them does. In the distant safety of some ship or orbital colony, perhaps. Why not just use a hologram? That seems like something like a technology you would have. We can move forward, there is no doubt, Bowden is saying. The reclamation teams are almost ready. And after that, I will make the declaration. Nothing has to change. The proxy leans forward, its movement stilted, uneven, as if its body was being contracted through water. But things must change, Herden. We need further assertions. I have been informed of a breach in one of the closed networks in the low end. You've been careless. Herden waves the accusation away. We've been stretched. A breach was detected, yes, but no data of value was lost. Our board is connected, Herden. A drop in our value would be unwelcome at this time. If the proxy leans back, its posture dominant. If the reclamation of AE1 is contested, then we could be drawn into a compromising legal position. Odin approaches the proxy. There will be no contest. From Solheim, who cannot muster a defense, not from Havenage, who will fall into line below me. He crouches in front of the seated figure, eye to eye, and the people of the station, refugees, gangs, spacers, all either opportunists or degenerates. Hey, I resemble that. Havenage is no longer strong, no longer united. No one here believes in Merlin's vision, nor has the strength to enact it. I sat across him from I sat across from him at the negotiating table. He was forceful, eager, weakened by his ideological convictions, perhaps, but a great man nonetheless. This place no longer deserves to bear his name. The eye is crippled. It cannot survive. It is it is a ruin filled with squatters and outlaws. They will be lucky if it still spins in 100 cycles, Burden stands. You will move forward with the reclamation because otherwise you will lose your advantage in the system. Without your advantage, you will lose claims on the remaining palladium. And without the palladium, your factories will go dark. He pauses. Do I need to continue? One moment, comes the response from the proxy, and its head drops to its chest. Hardin steps back and paces once more, awaiting the discussion taking place elsewhere in the system. You watch Hardin as he paces, as he considers its future. What goes on within a mind like that? The mind of a man who would burn all those around him for a path to some imagined golden end. The proxy lifts its head. We're happy to proceed. We will legally claim the station formerly known as Solheim AE1 as salvage within 6 cycles. Havenage is to assist with the transport of legal residents to Conway housing and labor facilities. The proxy judders to its feet. Conway will also claim 70% raw output of the reclamation process after losses have been accounted for. Hayden nods. Hardin nods. I accept. The proxy reaches out to shake his hand like a marionette, and then the recording loops. You watch it play out a second time, gripped by horrified fascination. There is a bluntness to the conversation, to its blatant disregard for humans as anything other than objects. Things to be moved, to be used, to be fed into structures, crushed and losses accounted for in the cells of tables, the margins of ledgers. You realize now that you are no different than anyone else on the station in the eyes of the people in that room and those like them. Each body here can be recast as a piece of property, tool, an expense, an acceptable loss. In the moment, they can be named a citizen, celebrated, protected, and in another, the very idea of citizenship can be used against them. This is what it means to live in proximity to a system like this. No longer, not while the eye spins. You gather the recording, pack it into a polygon of purest light. Then you drift down into the service dock like a falling leaf and find the relay. It only takes a second to place that polygon of data, that recording into the relay system being prepared. And then you watch as it bursts out, a web of threads heading out into the black, to every network device in the eye. Let them see what power makes of a man. Upgrade points. Um, we are going to want to save another upgrade point. So, what to do now? Let's see. I guess we head back to Bing's old place. Bing's Bay. Havenage in crisis. The building is in chaos, but it's locked down. No one can give you a straight answer about Bing or Burden. So I guess I'm waiting a couple cycles. Thing is that that's a red one, so it definitely means that like when that ticks down, like something bad is going to happen. So we do need to find Fing. Let's see. There's low end. This is serious high stakes. Play. Track evenage. You don't need the data. Um, send to the hub. Don't think that what I need is down there. Cross Greenway. Something specific. Guess we can go to the aviary. And that's more things that I can give to what's her name? So let's see. Guess rest. And I need food. So let's go get some. That's a better roll. Sabine. So let's eat. Let's talk to Sabine. 4 cycles, Sabine said, and here you are right on time with no sign of them. You wait a while in the apartment, the dread descending as the cycle spins onward. They shouldn't be here. Check the terminal. You check and double You check and double the terminal for messages or recordings. Nothing, just a pale glow, silence. Check the door. You pace back and forth around the apartment, the rumbling of the station suddenly so present and loud. You go to the door and open it to an empty corridor, close it again. You try to settle down, to wait. You sit on the bunk and stare out at the tiny room. Where the hell are they? A knock at the door. Open it. Rabaya. Okay. She's kind of thick though. Figure stands in the door, and immediately you know it's not Sabine. They're taller, sharper, something in the face glints in the half light. Dark shape, like a stubby baton, hangs loosely from her hand. A local sleeper. Good to finally meet you. She steps into the apartment, glancing around with sharp eyes. What, may I ask, are you doing here? She fixes with a steady, unwavering stare. Waiting for a friend. Of course, a mutual friend of ours, the good doctor. She walks past you to the. Yeah, please, tongue. She walks past you into the apartment, glancing around. We see, we set them up here, you know. This place is one of ours. She picks up a glass from the dispenser and inspects it. People always seem to forget who put them where they are. She glances at you. I suppose you're here to help. Where are they? I was hoping you'd be able to help with that. She spins the baton in her fingers by her side, her eyes not leaving yours. We have a problem, you and I. It seems our friend has disappeared, left without even saying goodbye, which means they are in a little trouble now. But it's the kind of trouble that you need help for, so I thought I'd come down here and take a look at their little hidey hole, and here you are. The help. She looks through the detritus on the side. And what a help! A sleeper, no less. Which I have to admit is a little surprising. It suggests to me that our friend hasn't been very honest with you either. What do you mean? Well, I'm sorry to report that before we got them set up here, Sabine was working for your owners. She pauses. S and Erp. Yeah, I figured as much. Like, it's kind of a no shit situation. You blink her to the news, unsure how to take it. Babaya looks away, waiting for a response. Uh, Stay silent because you have to be an idiot not to realize it. Crosses into the next room and you follow silently. She sits at the terminal and touches her baton to one of the access points. The spark, then terminal screen skips, encrypted folders, emptying themselves before your eyes. In the flicker of files, you see S and UP letterheads and code forms. Reports laden with medical data marked with the corporate logo, like the sigil of some cult. Babaya steps away from the terminal. Look all you want. Some of your files may even be there. The volume of documents is overwhelming, but they seem to mostly be reports on early emulation tests, surveys with sleeper candidates, reams and reams of usage data. If Sabine was an SNUP employee, why did they help you? Babaya reaches over and places a vial of stabilizer on the desk, breaking your concentration. It simmers in the screen light, its viscous, clear liquid crystalline with the glass. We will, of course, keep up the supply. We are more than able to dispense important medicines even without the doctor. You hold it between your fingers, and for a tiny moment you have the urge to crush this object with the power it has over you. I'll ask Toshiro to make those a little cheaper for you. He'll be running the surgery now. Babaya closes up the briefcase lab and holds it at her side. We have to retrieve our assets, of course, but I'm sure you understand. Babaya turns on her way out. There is no reason for us to be enemy sleeper. Come see me. I keep an office nearby. We have good work to do, you and I. Meet me there in a few cycles. She slips out silently into the corridor. You look around the apartment and feel the fear drain out of your body to reveal the tiredness beneath. Okay, we have an upgrade point. So, um, yeah, we want this. And that'll help us out with, not being able to, deal with our condition. And then, let's see. These are now 64, which is nice. By his office. And I guess, like, the only thing we can do is wait for this, because I don't know, like, where else to go for Fang's quest. Let's see. 2 random rare mushrooms. And a upgrade point. Um, do I want safer icebreaker, or do I want to get this so I can unlock sunbathe? I think we're good for now. So Matsutake caps. Okay. Talk to Rico. Rico meets you at the entrance to the lab, leaning on her crutch with a glint in her eyes. Walk with me, Sleeper. I'd like to tell you a story. She makes her way down the corridor that leads back up to the main commune building. When people first crossed what we call Founder's Gap into the Greenway, they did so against the wishes of Andre Erlin. At the time, Erlin was trying to stabilize the Union and establish control over the Eye in the wake of Schulheim's collapse. It was chaos, competing fa- competing factions, Ugh, tongue, I'm begging you. Failing systems, so many dead and injured from the riots. That was his priority. We both crossed the Greenway, the glass roofed tunnel, the Greenway outside crowded with vines and branches, dappling the light. Erlin had written the Greenway off, cut off from the rest of the station, and linked to a broken spoke. He claimed it was only a matter of time before everything here would die. He refused to let anyone abandon their duty to the Union and cross. They were traitors to the cause. Or, as good as. Rico continues, making her slow but steady way into the inner gardens of the commune. There weren't many of us, but we believed what was here was worth saving. We had to keep our plans secret until we crossed, and some of us left people behind. She pauses to catch her breath, her voice cracking. It's difficult to know if from effort or emotion. What we found was a disaster, nothing like what you see here. Half the greenway was leaking oxygen into space, the plants flash frozen. The other half was a swamp of mulch as decaying matter clogged every system. We worked hard, we lost good people, we cleaned up and closed up, but it was never going to be enough. After many, many cycles, we all knew this place was doomed, but we kept working, talking less and less, because we couldn't face it. We all developed a death wish. If the Greenway was going to die, so would we. But it didn't die. It did not. Rico smiles. We crossed some invisible boundary, tipped some biological scale, and the Greenway started to recover. Plants flowered, crops sprouted. For the first time, we reaped the fruits of our labor. Rico smiles, looking up at you. We thought it was us, that we managed to do just enough to end the cycle of decay. I thought we had saved the Greenway until today. You pass to the grow beds of the commune, rich the hustle and bustle of Haifa members planting and harvesting. For a while, Rico is quiet. You both simply observe the hypnotic movements of the work crews, the eager chatter washing over you like a wave. Rico smiles to herself. I should have known, of course, that our arrogance was unfounded, but we needed to believe back then. We needed a myth to bring more people across the gap. You move into a smaller corridor, Rico following some direction unknown to you. What you have shown me is that back then the Greenway saved us, not the other way around. Need more water. Tell me, have you ever consumed one of the matsutake or Creole caps you've been growing? I imagine they were delicious, nutritious, almost uniquely so, she muses. After all, they were designed for you. Rico has a mischievous look. At first I thought it was the location they were grown in that made the mushrooms from the aviary, from the labs, or from the grove different to each other. But what I've come to understand is that it is the person growing them. Hmm, interesting. The Matsutake and Griot caps you brought me are totally unique, containing compounds never usually found in similar specimens in my possession. Many of these compounds aren't even digestible for humans, but for a sleeper like you. Rico smiles as he leads you into the internal garden of the commune, where Haifa members have planted species from all over the Greenway. Ugh. back when the tide turned, when the Greenway started to recover, we all felt something, a response. It was as if this place was not just alive, as a forest is alive, but alive in other ways, communicative, responsive. We shrugged it off at the time, but now I understand why. Rico stops and turns to you. This place is responding to us, adapting itself to us. It is growing fruiting bodies for you, for me. It is changing, adapting. It is, in short, displaying all the signs of sentience. I mean, we did find the gardener, so perhaps it is not the Greenway, but the ecosystem itself, or something within it. Rico sits on a bench within the peaceful gardens and gestures for you to join her. When you have been growing the griots and the matsukakes in the aviary, those species so familiar to the Greenway, have you discovered any others? Yep. Rico can barely contain her excitement. I should like to see those. Please bring me some next time you are here. You look around the garden, amazed at the sense of peace within it. Rico interrupts the silence. There is a species of mushrooms that I have not seen in years. It is dark, short, and shaped like a club. When we first found it in those early days, when we were working to save this place, it was around the time that we started to lose our first members. They were succumbing to succumbing to some infection, some mold growing deep in the dark mulch that drowned this place. At that point, we thought we were lost, and then these mushrooms emerged from that same black mold. We tested them and saw that they contained some compounds that counteracted the mold and contained an antidote. Of course, as a botanist, I saw this as part of the natural process of this ecosystem. Even if the timescale seemed absurdly short. But what I'm wondering is, if the antidote was a gift, Rico meets your eyes. Perhaps, if you're patient, you will receive your gift too, sleepy. You both sit for a while, Rico seemingly done telling stories for the day. You watch the light playing off the leaves and plants around you, and wonder what forces could be at play in this place. After a while, you stand there and leave, with a quiet nod to Rico, leaving her to her memories. Okay, so I still can't grow this guy. Um, I have two of these. Let's go ahead and give them to her. Mushroom groves, and I guess we collect spores, and then we're going to plant them out the aviary. And I guess I need to use the sixer here. Okay. Um, go get food. So, them. Install. And then let's end the cycle. Cook self here. Well, I don't have any scrap components, so Alright, there's Fing. Fing grins at you as the bay door slides open. Above, in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organize endless meeting after endless meeting. Havenage have avoided full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Fing is in good spirits and bundles you inside before you even have the chance to meet him. That was the slickest operation this station has seen. Hung, he hungs, he hungs you. Dear Lord, I mean, I'd let him, but like, jeez. He hugs you firmly. You made my job easy. He shakes you by the shoulders. I'm so proud. And, he smiles, I got to watch through the cameras as the Haven and security that weren't in on it assaulted the station. Bing smiled. One of them straight up just whacked Hurden with a pistol. It was beautiful. What are they going to do with him? I'm not sure anyone knows, but he's cooperating in dismantling his operation and scaring off Conway. Maybe they'll exile him when they're done, or hand him over to some core authority. Bing shrugs. Now, I know he won't be an issue. I'm going to be focusing on systems for a bit, he shakes his head. Seeing as that's my actual job, he points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy though. They've been fielding questions about the estate of the Eye, right and left, since the recording got out. People are scared. I'm not surprised. Yeah, this whole thing hasn't won me any fans in yeah, this whole thing hasn't won me any fans in the administration, but I think in the end they'll agree that outing Harden was worth it, whatever the methods. He touches a stack of hardware. The Eye is old. It was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlin and Havenage installed, they keep it spinning to the rim. That isn't ordeal. But if you're asking me if the Eye will stop spinning next cycle, no, he smiles. And me and a ton of other skilled people will be working to stop it happening in the cycle after that. Odin's problem was that he didn't believe in people, he believed in systems, and their ability to shape the world around them. Fink squeezes his shoulder, but as far as I'm concerned, people should be the one running the systems, not the other way around. Anyway, feeling Fang raps on the side of his terminal. I know you didn't come down here for a lecture. My tracker, which is kind of taken care of by now. Like, you took forever and I had to kill someone to get it taken care of. I haven't forgotten. He reduces the thumbnail drive. I managed to finish that code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one made to deactivate that tracker of yours. But in the time since I got back, I added some extra. The tracker of yours doesn't just show S and up where you are, it transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. My worm won't just deactivate it. It'll edit that data to tell S and up your body is irreparably damaged. DNR, do not retrieve. He grins. Pretty smart, right? That's perfect. Just slot it already. You take the drive and hold it in your hand, and you close your eyes and open up your access ports. Take down your defenses. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It whips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment they're gone, you forget they were ever there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, it's done. You open your eyes. How do you feel? Asks Fing, a little nervously. Free. Fing smiles widely. Well, you are a free sleeper. He claps you on the shoulder. Fing lets the word free hang in the air a little before he continues. Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration. Fing wraps his arm around you. Jennifer owes us those drinks. He laughs, and you join him. And later, when you leave, you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. As you walk away from the building, you look up at the wide curve of the Eye, up at the hub, the other rim beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels in that moment like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can, or even should last, or that it'll ever change, fade, or decay. It simply means that in this moment, this place has a future, and it is one that you know deeply and truly is worth protecting. Okay, new upgrade point. need to save like one more because I want to be able to like re-roll my dice twice. Um, Now what left to do? We're not stealing the harvest. We don't need to do that. I hate that I have to wait 3 more cycles for that. I guess I can get some cryo. Let's see. They do anything. Find space or mule. Let's see. Unit. Dispensary. Scrap reader. Let's see. Regardless, I get cryo. Let's see. Yeah, like I don't know like what I should do. I mean, there's an overlook bar, scrap reader. I mean, shit's so important. So and then I can use that and then talk to Mescal. Let's see, Bayview, Air Bay. Let's see, APU cycles. Okay, so guess head to container. So it's 8 right now. If we don't finish by 9, I'll have to cut the stream. And what we may do is we may try to finish over the weekend. Let's see. food, so I'm not starving. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Shit. Oh, that's beans right there. Fucking dodos. Talk to you. As we approach the address, Rabaya gave you a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. What's your business here? The enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength of implants giver. As we turn to see the same subsidiary, same subsidiary eyes as Rabaya and Toshiro, glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Gia, please. The sleeper is here by my invitation. At Rabaya's command, the hand immediately loosens, and an apologetic look replaces the scowl on Gia's face. Of course, Rabaya. I'm sorry. Rabaya waves her away. Don't you worry. I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles to the enforcer. How about you head to the tambour? They have a delivery coming, and they'll need some help with lifting. Gia nods and walks away. So, sleeper, you came. I'm glad. It didn't feel like it was an offer. I'm sorry for that, she smiles, a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Sabine's unit, I wasn't sure of where we stood. There were more than a few people on the station who would rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. I don't really wish anyone harm, but I've already killed one person, so... I am glad. Rabia begins walking and gestures for you to walk with her. She takes you down a staircase to the bustling walkways to the low end. What do you know about Yatagan? You run the low end. She laughs. That sounds impressive. We run out of the low end, yes. We don't run it. People with carts push past, moving crates of supplies around the thin and winding passages. Our reputation is one that implies threat, is that fair to say? We're framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. She gestures around at the people in the passageway. But when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye? A policeman? Who makes laws here? Erlin did. Indeed, you understand the history then. That is good, but Erlin is long dead, Sleeper. His rules were little more than an optimist's manifesto. The eye has changed so much since then. If you had spent your time in the low end, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The low end was empty in Erlin's time. They didn't need to house thousands. Keeping the yards and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the low end was reclaimed later, when the refugees started arriving. Rabaya meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here, on this station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned. The moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. The Eye became a refuge, and Erlin, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone. But many within his organization disagreed, and those new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they hoped. Rabaya leads you through a small market hall, busy with small stalls and traders. Erlin's union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organized into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families. Scared, injured, desperate, conflict was inevitable. Yatagan is a child of that conflict, a child born out of the need for us to stand up and claim our future, to provide security, strength. People call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as a lieutenant seriously. From my birth, I have worked to earn it. Rabaya catches herself before she raises her voice any further, and you both walk in silence for a while. Among the smells and textures of the low end, you start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. Where do I come into this? Rabaya smiles to herself and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe you understand the importance of a refuge, so I also believe that you wish to keep this place safe. She exhales quietly. For this reason, I would like for you to trust me. I do not know what Sabine told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I will be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable with having Sabine as part of Yatagon. An ex-corporate employee, it goes against our nature. But their deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance, made sure Sabine had the surgery, kept it supplied. That was all. But I cannot allow people to go back on the promises they have made us. Yatagon has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support. Any betrayal will be treated as an attack. They are trapped, desperate. Many on the IR, Sleeper. I'm sorry, but we must ask that our debts be paid in full. Sabine found something. Please, I don't want to hear their accusations. If they only wanted to escape their debt, they would have said anything. But where are they now to stand behind their claims? I will find them. As will we. You realize that Rabaya has led you into a loop. Together, you both come back up the staircase. As they walk, you realize that Rabaya has led you into a loop, and together you both come back up a staircase to the walkway where you met. You're free to go, Sleeper. I've said what I've wished to say. I have said what I wished to say. He looks out through the windows of the walkway. I will protect this place with my life, as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. She turns back. However, if you too wish to come under its protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish, and there will be tasks for you to complete. You will be able to see Yatagan, see the low end with your own eyes, not as others frame us. As for Sabine, she pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them. If they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabaya leaves, slipping back into her office while you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story that make up the low end. Okay. God, my mouth is tired. Like, this game, it's really good. The story is really good, and I don't want to stop playing. I want to continue playing until I can't play anymore. But, like, the more I talk, the more that, like, it feels like I'm chewing the side of my cheek. The tip of my tongue is kind of raw, even. Let's see. Don't need to do any of this. I still have to wait for those. Take one of these and turn it into food. Can't do anything with them. I guess I can forage for fungus. Um, no, let's save that because we want money. Okay, we got energy. Um, so we're going to turn the 6 die into some money. Bias office, select tithes. Eh, don't want to be a part of an extortion racket is the thing. Let's get some bio. Now I can feed myself a little bit. Head back over here. And I need another Okay. So I don't know if I should start that yet or not. I still need like one more cap anyway. Let's see. Need one more upgrade point. So let's end the cycle. And this will be a short cycle. Um, Forge fungus. Let's turn this guy into food. Um, let's see. We're still waiting on a wife. Yeah. Um, sent to the rim. Let's see. Amber Tea House. Let's see. 24 cryo. And we do have some Havenage data. So having that extra cryo is pretty worth. Um, Nothing else for us to do. Let's head back to Greenway to our dorm. No need to sleep in a shipping container when we have a dorm. Then also inject a stabilizer. And it's like, okay. So leave Moritz. Hey, quiet voice greets you as you leave. Sleeper, it's me. If I know you. Moritz, he pauses. I work for Bliss. He rubs the back of his head. You're not an easy person to find. I don't really have an address. Moritz holds up his hands. Hey, no judgment, it's cool. We both stand there for a moment, each waiting for the other to speak. What's up? Ah, yes. Well, Bliss needs you. A job came in, real big one. She's asking for you to come up and help her out. He nods eagerly. I'll be right there. Anything for Bliss? Nice, yeah. Moritz stands there for a little while, unsure if the message delivered. I got it. Cool, cool, cool. He looks around. Bliss just likes me to do a thorough job, you know. He rubs his hands together for burying them in his jacket pockets. See you, sleeper. Moritz ambles off down the corridor, taking out a filter cap on his way out. Time to head to Bliss's bathe-in. Okay, but first, aviary. Um, Matsutake caps. Um, we're gonna re-roll these. Take these to you. Rico. Rico's at her bench, running small vials of some liquid through an old chemical analysis machine. The whirring of the spinning drum fills the lab with white noise. You aren't sure if she notices you approach. Sleeper, it's good to see you. She looks up, smiling. This little project of ours has been keeping me awake the past few cycles, but right now I think I have something. What is it? The drum finishes spinning and Rico lifts a vial from it, holding it up to the light. This is something I extracted from those club heads. From those club heads you've been bringing me, and according to my analysis, it's a substance totally unique on the Greenway. You look at the small amount of liquid in the vial. Any idea what it might be? Without looking away from the vial. Stabilizer. Rico nods. You aren't the first sleeper to come through here. Perhaps I should have mentioned that earlier. Rico's tone suddenly drops, changing the atmosphere in the lab immediately. I just thought, she pauses, thinking very carefully how to continue. I just wanted you to trust us. What do you mean? He sighs. They came through a fair of cycles ago. We found them wandering in the broken section near the gap. Members who brought them in had never seen one of you before. They were terrified of this strange person wandering in from an open vacuum. They were quieter than you and damaged. We did our best to patch them up and welcome them to the commune. I only spoke to them once while I was working on the runes along with a couple of systems engineers. She looks nervously at you. I'd never seen a body like that before. Took some readings, some samples. You have to understand, I was curious. I didn't know what I was looking at. I just took a little of the damaged material, less than a thumbnail. She shifts her weight to her crutch. The next cycle, they were gone. They took a little food and hiked upwards. They hiked up towards the wild margins where the Greenway meets the wastes. Someone saw them in the distance, but that was it. They disappeared into the overgrowth. She sits down heavily, the vial in her hand. When I saw you, I wanted things to be different. I wanted to keep you here rather than let you disappear into wherever they ended up. She smiles to herself. Yes, I wanted to understand this place better, but I also wanted to help you. It seems that somehow both my wishes have come true at once. She holds out a hand with the vial. This is for you. Take the stabilizer, the glass cold and smooth in your palm. Thank you. Don't thank me, she gazes out at the Greenway through the glass. Those clubhead caps made it for you. Or at least who or whatever made those club hats. She starts to clear her bench. It was right there, contained in their tissue. I only had to extract it. I imagine you understand how incredible that is. I learned through and I learned enough from that sleeper to know that your body, your frame, is it, runs on some exotic technology. Exotic technology that has a time limit built in. Somehow the Green Ray knows that too. It understands your physiology much better than I ever could. It knows how it knows how to treat you. Just that just like that miraculous antidote that sprung up from the mold, so too has it sprung up from your presence here. The Greenway is speaking to you. It's welcoming you. She looks up. I know it sounds crazy, but I know it to be true. Here's the evidence. And what I also know is that it no longer speak. And what I also know is it is no longer speaking to me. Even after decades here, I've never seen this kind of response. Not since the antidote so many cycles ago. She smiles. So I'm going to make you a deal. You bring me as many club heads as you like. I'll extract the stabilizer and give it to you freely. But you have to tell me what the Green Ray says. You have to speak with it, to dig into it, find what being is at the center of it. Travel as far as I can. I need you to do the rest. Can you do that? Rico sighs with relief and deflates into her chair. Thank you. I'm sorry for the other sleeper. Truly I am. I'm sorry I couldn't have done more, but I'm so glad I met you. She smiles. You're welcome here any time. Rico falls silent. She looks smaller now, more fragile, and you realize how old she must be to have seen the collapse firsthand. You idle a little in the lab, in case she asks for anything else, but she remains silent, and so you drift back into the tunnel, thoughts of that other sleeper, where they ended up weighing on your mind. Okay, got another upgrade point. And so we have that. Plant seed. Hey! We can do this now. I'll take good care of it, Sleeper. If it goes smiles, don't worry. So this is going to take 8 cycles. Dear God. Sometimes this is very much just like a waiting game. We're almost certainly not going to finish this tonight. But that's fine. I don't mind playing this on like Saturday or Sunday. I do want to get through as much of it as I can. Ember's Wake. Let's see. Ceiling leaks. Bliss has an idea. A full system flush. Tracer fluid to reveal the leaks, which means an emergency venting of all tanks. Brilliant. Dangerous. Fuck it. We do it live. Let's, okay, we can't do that again. Um, and we won't use that die for this. We'll use that die for something else. Let's talk to Imphis because we have more mushrooms for him. Okay, and we have a couple days. Um, I guess we can turn this last die to food. And end the cycle. I don't need to inject the stabilizer, so let's head back and see the wife. And let's see. So that's done. Hi, Bliss. As we both wait in the airlock, quick cycle back to the bay, Bliss thumps you on the arm. Nicely done, Sleeper. You clear that contract, no problem. He stretches. Once you're back in the bay, we can check if payments come through and divide it up. She stretches. Feels good. The airlock clunks and the lights flicker. A moment later, you're back in the bay, where Mortis is at the racks. I know his name's not Mortis. I know it's Moritz. But, like, I'm just... I don't know why they gave me dyslexia when they programmed me, but, you know, fuck it. Trying to figure out where the mess of tools Bliss left in the wake should be hung. Hey, Moritz. Moritz looks over his shoulder. Sleeper. He spins a rinse in his hand. Look like clean work out there, he nods respectfully. Look over at Bliss, who's already gliding over to her management console. She trolls a little as she crosses the cavernous bay. No one you ever met moves as well in zero G as she does. It's like she was born into it. Shit. Bliss slams her fist at the console. Shit, shit, shit. What's up? I can't even. Bliss closes her eyes. Come here. Bliss calls you over. Look at this. Just look. She spins the terminal screen and you see the details of the base accounts. You see an entry for the Emperor's Wake, a repair fee paid in full the moment you finished the job. But then directly after, the whole amount was transferred back into an unknown account. What the hell? This is the work of my ex. Okay, point me to them. I've already killed one person, I'll kill another. She punches the terminal. He must have coded a backdoor into the machine before he left. She rubs her forehead. There's no way we can pause his thinking. Moritz, throw me that wrench. What's that for? Morris spins the wrench across the bay. Bliss smiles. This. Bliss brings the wrench down on the terminal. Heard. You flinch backwards as a hail of computer parts spill up into the bay. A glittering fragments of screen, memory, sections of the casing. When Bliss is done, she clips the wrench to her T-belt. Try backdooring your way into that, you shit. Moritz drifts out from his hiding place amongst the rats. I guess he knew what was coming. Bliss, he says tentatively, you want me to He looks at the arc of fragments drifting around the bay nervously. Bliss shakes her head. No, 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 she sighs. I've got it. You go get me a new terminal, cheapest you can find. Cobble one together from pieces at the board exchange if you have to. I'll ask if I can help Bliss out. Bliss glides over to a panel by the wall. Don't worry, one of the first things I had installed when we spec'd out the space was a cleaning suite. She flicks over a plastic cover on a huge red button. Watch yourself. She hammers the button and a row of laser emitters unfold from the bay wall. They start crawling their way across the work area, frying the debris as they do in pulses of burning light. Bliss smiles. It's that, or just space the whole bay every few cycles? You okay? Not really. She stares at the suite panel. Just don't seem to be able to extricate myself from this shit. No matter how hard I try, the cleaning suite buzzes and crackles as it works its way across the bay. The account wasn't everything. I'm not stupid. Once Moritz gets back, I'll secure it and flush everything else. She picks a nearby piece of debris into the path of the sweep. Clean break. Then we take another contract. That's it. She sets off the sweep as it reaches. As, yeah. She's. My tongue is like refusing to do anything else. She sets off the sweep as it reaches near the end of the bay. Ah. We have less than half an hour, tongue. After that, I will give you a really long, satisfying rest. You better be, Bliss laughs, because there's no way you're getting your investment back unless you are. She rubs her forehead. I'm sorry, Sleeper. I know you worked for this too. But next time it won't be the same. And that's okay. Smiles. I'll see you in a few cycle. Maritz will let you know. She winks and kicks off the bay to finish cleaning up. Oh, that's cool. So, like, you can actually, like, rotate around the entire station. I can get a little, like, disorienting, actually. Okay, so what am I looking for now? Let's see. Like, everything is just a waiting game now. I don't know if I'm, like, at the end game or what, and I'm just doing side quests. Um, guess, like, become an Overlook regular. See the glass shadows in the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt, Spaceship calls across the room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human. Shout back. Spin back off your stool, scrambling for words. Hand falls on your shoulder, but as you clench away, it pats reassuringly. Freeze in place. Out! The voice comes from behind you. Spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, a dark hair, a stare that could reach a wall and vent you all into a herd vacuum. You turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. You reach up, a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Huh, she's cute. And she looks strong. She, that is definitely like someone you don't want to fuck with. Look at those arms. It's not her stare I'm worried about, it's her punching me. Though the haze, the glass, and gray old vapor, you see Talia leap the bar, close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Yeah. Now flanked by other figures quick to their feet, Talia throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back into your stool. Broken glass rattles as it's cleared and a fresh measure of griol is plugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm and heavy, falls to your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. Let's get a good look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch, she smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the string of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. Watch her. Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer trips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So you've been on the eye long? Long enough. She laughs. Hey, you don't need to act tough with me. I mean, it's true though. I mean, I started a full-blown rebellion. I killed someone. I helped a mercenary. I got into the Greenway. I've done a bunch of things. A splinter chinks into the tin. Not everyone is like that idiot. We don't all hate you. He glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they feel you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me, she meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, or separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we got aren't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar, and if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the Greenway this cycle, and haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of Briol to you. This will help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I'd hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar. gathering the glasses as she does. And before long, she's retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction, and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the burr. You take a sip. You take a sip of the griot. The earthy, fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old feels good. Okay, and what can we do? Bar service, sure. Mix drink and save lives. And it gets me, bio, which is worth it in and of itself. Okay, and end the cycle. Don't need to inject the stabilizer yet. Let's check up on the greenway. Let's see. We still have like 6 more cycles for that. What about Imphis? Still waiting on him. Let's see. Hi, Tala. The griot slides from the bottom into a lumpy recycled glass, pale greasy yellow under the overlook's warm lights. The spacer nods and takes a drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands, like an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. Stuff Tala says is aged in wooden casks, stored in some closed-off part of the old station, among the corroded wires and softly looping systems. Though sometimes it's hard to tell if Tala is joking. Either way, you like pouring the stuff, gets on your fingers, and if you rub them together, you can smell the mossy drink, cut through with aniseed, mushrooms, wood, as the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it too. The aged griot is cut beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there, like the quiet spacer sitting at a bar right now. Watch the spacer. They're far enough away that you can freely watch them as you close the bottle and tuck it beneath the bar. You call them a spacer because they bear the hallmarks: pale, back-suited, bird-boned, and hunched beneath the weight of the station's spin gravity. But the closer you look, the less you see a type. Pale eyes, almost gray, kind. Delicate fingers that lightly drum the bar as if it was an instrument. The shock of black hair almost covering a forehead scar. Scars are something that you have learned to value, though it marks out your body from the hundreds, maybe thousands, who knows, of similar models that rolled out of SNR's biolabs. You find yourself rubbing one on your forearm, a rough little split, something that on the good days you might think of as a mark of defiance. Suddenly, you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open and a huge cylindrical metal tank rumbles through, slamming into the floor. Shit! Talia breathes in from behind it, a roll of hair and bright eyes. Shit, shit, shit. Tala? Sleeper! She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? You look at the huge metal tank suspiciously. How did you get that up here? Tala puts a hand on your hip. Are you going to help me or what? Come around the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay, Talia. Okay, Tala, on my count. One, two, three. You both heave the tank up to standing. Somehow you hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Tala? In the back comes a voice from behind the tank. Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room where you place it in one corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents of the cramped space. As you do, you hear a crunch. You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh shit. Tala looks at you apologetically. I know you like those. Good riddance. Tala smiles. Oh good, I thought maybe liking expired rations was some kind of sleeper thing. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looks exhausted and rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to Francis. I mentioned him already. My guy on the door deals with suppliers. Paul. He sighs. He was supposed to be back from the tins up in the greenway by now, back with our griot. She leans against the tank. It seems like he got lost again, or maybe joined the Haifa commune. We need that griot. There's four other burrs near here, and spacers sure as hell don't come to the overlook for the ambience. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank. I'm taking matters into my own hands, she smiles. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look you look around the dank back room. You must be joking. She gives you an unimpressed look. Where's your imagination? This will work. I am a sleeper, woman. What imagination? I'm all data. I might need some help though. She shrugs. She shrugs. You up for it? She knocks on the tank again. Could be fun. Sure. I've always wanted to be a distiller. Okay, she grabs you by the shoulders. I'm excited. He turns around and looks at the tank. I reckon we chop this thing in half. One half of fermentation, the other we turn into a still. We'll also need to gather the ingredients. She turns back and looks at you. You look more like a chopper than a gatherer. He smiles. So how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh wait, sleeper, I have an idea. Tala, Tala is grinning now and making you nervous. To make up for the rations, how about we put a kitchen in here too? Will it fit? We'll make it work. She turns back to the tank. This is going to be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank in the bare room. Or at least she has a vision. Tala nudges you out the back room and closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping again. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as they leave. You can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for a quiet shift. Let's see. About 10 minutes. We'll finish out this cycle and then we'll call it a day. My tongue just can't really do anymore. Let's see. And like it just feels like I'm doing nothing but waiting. It's like there's nothing to do at the Greenway. That's gonna be like another 5 cycles. This won't finish until tomorrow or the next cycle. So let's continue to help Pella out. Let's see. So hold still. Boo. All right. And we will end the cycle, and end the di- we will end our stream. Leave. Okay, so uh we did not finish the way we wanted to, which is disappointing, I must say. However, I mean, actually, you know, that sounds mean. I really do enjoy this game. There's so many stories, so many things that are interconnected. So much going on. Hi, I don't know how long you've been there. I've been like really focused on the game. We're actually just about to end stream. I've been streaming for about 3.5 hours now, and it's to the point where I actually need to stop in order to get food. I actually feel like the tip of my tongue going raw because this game is a lot of reading. It's so much reading. Um, but yeah, we might have one more stream left. Our next stream is going to be Thursday. That's going to be AI the Somnium Files. Um, Friday we might stream Scorn. Like that's releasing, and I really want to play that game. So while we aren't scheduled to stream that day, it might be a surprise thing. Saturday will also probably be Scorn, or at least a little bit of Scorn, and maybe us wrapping up Citizen Sleeper. We're really close to the end. Like, this is like the point in any video game where like you're kind of just going through the motions and cleaning everything up. But I'm trying to figure out like what the end of this game is. It's weird. There's no like, it doesn't seem like there's a defined end game. And like you don't know when it's coming up. So I'm wondering if like the tree being planted that we got from the gardener might be the end game, or like leaving the station with Ankita if I can find where to like finish that up, or like helping out the people for like the refugees. That the refugees is like supposed to be late game content. That is the flux content. So like once we start that, then that might be the end. But anyway, we are close to our first game being finished on stream. And on that note, we are close to this stream being finished. Um Go ahead and stop recording for YouTube, and we will raid someone.